Some versus most. You got this one?
It says, I am struggling with LR stimuli. We're going to call that passages or argue either way, but not stimuli. No one says stimuli ever in real life. I mean, maybe if you're like a scientist. All right. I am struggling with LR passages that use some/most language.
Some means at least one. So if there are 100 people in your gym and you say some of them like bananas, well, then at least one of them likes a banana, and maybe all of them do, because at least one just means one or more. That's all it means. It's pretty common.
Some means one or more. So anywhere from 1 to 100, if 100 is all.
Yeah.
Some means 1 to 100. What does most mean?
Most is just more than half. So again, if your gym has 100 members, then 51 or more of them, potentially all of them, like bananas. That's what you know. And that's what you don't know too. You don't know if it's 51, you don't know if it's 60, you don't know if it's 100.
Right. So
But you do know it's 51 or more.
yeah. So some just means not zero. Some means one or more. It's a very broad category that includes all, and it also includes just one. We don't know how many, but we know somewhere from 1 to 100.
We know it's not zero.
Right. Most is more specific. Most is harder to prove. Most gives you better information, really. But it's a higher standard, right? Because most means 51 to 100 if 100 is all, and if we're talking about discrete variables, 51 to 100.
Yeah.
It's not that complicated. I mean, I guess maybe people haven't thought it through in LSAT terms before, but some means one or more. Most means 51 or more. That's it.
They're struggling with the passages that deal with some and most. So here's my specific advice for these kinds of passages. I'm imagining that this person is encountering a passage that has words like some and most in it. It's probably shorter. It probably feels more formulaic. All I'm going to ask is, I'm doubling down on what you said. Make sure you understand it. And I'm going to say that the way you try to understand these passages, which is actually the same way you try to understand all these passages, but let's just make this perfectly clear. Try to visualize what they're talking about. So when someone says most animals in this forest migrate in the winter, I imagine to myself 100 because it's convenient, 10 because it's convenient, whatever. I imagine 10 animals and I'm thinking to myself, most of them, so 6 or 60 of them, are leaving the forest, and I see them leaving the forest. I don't draw like, some diagram
Yeah,
for some.
right.
I imagine the
Well,
actual event taking place and I apply simple numbers,
in your
usually 6 or 10.
exact example, I think you would actually imagine 6 out of 10
Mm-hmm.
or 10 out of 10, right? You said
Exactly. Yep.
most of them leave the
Mm-hmm.
forest. Okay, so you're imagining, oh, well, then at least 6 of them are rolling
That's
out.
exactly right. I
Maybe all of them
know
are
that
rolling
6 are
out.
left and the 4 remaining may come too, and I am
Right.
aware of that. I'm
6
sitting
of
there
them
and I'm
have
thinking
to
then,
go.
mm-hmm.
4 of them might go.
Mm-hmm.
That's what most means. What if
Yep.
it was some?
If it was some, then I would see one walking out of there right away. And I could imagine a few others, maybe all of them leaving as well. But the point here is that it's a concrete visualization. When I do this in class and people are struggling with it, what they say, oh, this is formal logic. I don't
Yeah, right.
understand. Sometimes I get pushback on this and people say, we don't know how many deer there are. And I'm like,
It
does it
doesn't matter.
matter? They just
Oh,
said there's a group of deer, so I'm going to make it 10. Why make it hard for yourself? Or make
right,
it 100? It's a very easy numbers. They're easy to
right.
deal with. And then when they say some, or no, then they could say something like most of the deer who left
If we
perished.
combine two of these together,
Yep.
most of the deer left the forest and most of the deer who left got run over.
Yep. So now in
Okay.
my head, I'm imagining 6 have left for sure. And then I'm going to keep it simple for now. And I'm just going to say, okay, those 6 left. Well, most of them died. So that means at least 4 of them died.
And
So
the numbers
now,
can change
yep.
if all 10 of them left, because most includes,
Mm-hmm.
if 10 is the number, most means 6 to 10. So you could think about the extremes, right? Most of the deer left and most of the deer that left got splattered in the road.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, if the minimum left, that's 6. And if the
Mm-hmm.
minimum of those got splattered, that's 4. So the minimum that could have got splattered here is 4. But if most of them left, and that means all of them left, which it could, and if all of them got splattered, then that could be all 10 of them
Yep.
splattered
And
in the
then
road.
if it's a quote inference question or really a must be true question, it says which
Right.
one of the following must be true? And one of the answers says most of the deers got splattered.
Mm-mm.
You'd say, wait a sec, one extreme, which was possible, only 4 of them ended up dying. 4 had to die, but that's less than half. So
Of the
this
total
answer
amount of deer.
choice is wrong.
Right.